So in this last part of our notes, we're going to end up solving equations by factoring polynomial expressions completely. This is going to have us use the zero product property again, which is something we learned in lesson 7.4. It was that we learned how to solve a times b equals 0 if a equals 0 or b equals 0. So our first example, we have this polynomial that needs to be factored. I think you can see that all three terms have a factor of w, so we'll factor a w out, which leaves us with a w squared, a minus 8w, and a plus 16 equals 0. Now we have this trinomial. Is it a perfect square trinomial or just a regular old trinomial? That's a perfect square, so is 16. There's a chance. So what do you square to get w squared is a w. What do you square to get 16 is a 4. If you multiply that 4 and w, you get 4w. If you double it, you get 8w. So that is a perfect square trinomial. So we can factor that to be a binomial squared, which is going to be w and 4. The middle term is minus, so we're going to write minus equals 0. And now we can go about solving this. When you solve this, before, what we were doing was just factoring and stopping. Now we're able to figure out what are the solutions to this equation using zero product property. A times b equals 0 if a equals 0, or b equals 0, or both are 0. So we're going to figure out what makes this factor be 0. What makes w be 0? That happens when w is 0. What makes this factor be 0? W minus 4 is 0 when w equals 4. There's your solution. Your solutions. W equals 0, w equals 4. If you put in 0, 0 cubed is 0, 0 squared is 0, times 8 is 0, 0 minus 0 is 0, 16 times 0 is 0. Zeros all add up to be 0. So that is a solution. If you put in the 4, you'll end up getting 64, because when w is 4, w cubed, 4 cubed is 64, minus 8 times 4 times w squared is going to be 8 times 4 squared, which is going to be 8 times 16, plus, and then we're going to have 16 times 4. Well, what do we end up with here? So we're going to get 64 minus 8 times 16 is going to be 80, and 48 is going to be 128, and 16 times 4 is 64. Well, if we take that positive 64 and add it to that positive 64, we get 128. Minus 128 is 0. So we can see that those are the two solutions for that equation.